Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the RK Football Podcast. Joined again this week by Stuart and Matt.
Hey there.
Again, no Kyle this week. I don't think he'll. I think he's possibly waiting for Villa to maybe get a result against PSG. Then he'll make his reappearance. So
Yeah.
he'll have something to say, something to kind of move away from that whole quiz debacle, where maybe he, he
Yes.
doesn't have to hear too much stick about that. He's waiting for something something positive to happen to his team so he can come back on, possibly.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, I think for this episode, what I wanted to go into first was obviously the big news this week was in regards to Kevin De Bruyne, who announced he will be leaving Manchester City at the end of this season. I don't think any of us are in any disagreement that he is one of the best players in the Premier League. The 6 Premier League titles, Champions League, second on the all-time assist list behind Ryan Giggs. I think 13 trophies in all, 2 PFA Premier League awards, and he's been in the PFA Team of the Year, I think, 5 times.
Yeah.
And obviously an all-time great. What are your guys' opinion of Kevin De Bruyne? And would you? I think the big question everyone has is: would he Would he kind of automatically start in an all-time Premier League 11?
Oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Stu?
I don't know because obviously, again, you put us on the spot. That takes a lot of brain
Well,
power.
do you
That
think because he is that good and because of the trophies he's won and just how good a special a player he has been, do you think it would just come down to people's personal preference or possibly who they support? I guess most Man City fans would likely have him in their all-time 11. Man United fans maybe not.
yeah,
I mean, or possibly even a lot. I think a lot of United fans probably would say they would have him there. So maybe it's just a case of personal preference. You know.
I mean, I would disagree with that to be fair, because
Mm,
obviously his record says it all. To be honest, it's like as you
mm,
said, as you pointed out in just the beginning, it's just yeah. If it said he's like was it 118 assists, second in all time, like
yeah.
that's outrageous. I mean, like I thought was it just like was it how many is he off? I think it's Frank Lampard. I think it's up there as well. I think it was all but was up
I
there
think
as well.
Frank Lampard is third. I know Ryan Giggs is first, I think, and yeah,
Yeah,
Kevin De
he's
Bruyne is
first.
115, 116. I'm not too sure what Giggs was on. I think he was a fair bit off, in fairness, but Giggs had
170 something odd.
many more,
Yeah,
something like
he
that.
played,
Yeah,
well,
but he
started the
played
Premier
far
League all the
many
way to
more seasons than
2013,
yeah,
didn't he?
exactly.
So,
Yeah,
Um, I do think I do think it's recency bias as well because obviously he's still playing. Because I give another 5 years when he hasn't been playing the Premier League for a while, I think people will respect him a lot more
mm,
or would probably put him higher up because obviously everyone because we always have that situation when it's like when someone says he's the best player to ever play in the Premier League, your first reaction is to go, I don't
mm,
know, because it's like because there's so many great players that have played in the Premier League,
exactly. Yeah,
but I think give another 5 years, wouldn't surprise me if he's in the top three at least or top five.
possibly, quite possibly. Here's one for you,
um,
Matt.
go
Here's
on.
just to kind of come at it from a different angle. De Bruyne or David Silva?
No, De Bruyne. De Bruyne
De Bruyne.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I put him in my top three. I do put him in
All-time
my top three.
midfielders or all-time
Yeah.
Premier League players? You mean
All-time Premier League
midfielders?
midfielders. So
Yeah,
in that
that's a fair
sense,
shout.
if you think about it in that way, he is in the Premier League, my Premier League team. However, it depends on what angle you look at it from. If you're going from a defensive standpoint, in my eyes, I wouldn't have De Bruyne in it.
Mm,
But if you're going for attacking, then it would definitely be in there. Um, the reason I think is though is, I mean, like the amount of times he's played these balls that you can't, you just can't imagine how he's even seen it, how he's even had
mm,
the vision to see the pass. I always remember one. It was against Liverpool. Sorry, Stu.
No, thanks.
I'm sure it was, or it might have been Stoke. It might have been Stoke. I might be wrong, but he played this wonderful ball from the right flank all the way around all of these defenders and got to Leroy Sane at the back post. And we're talking that he's done this
mm.
pass near the halfway line, all the way across the floor, all the way around, and he's just
So
slotted it in.
effortless with those, wasn't he? Yeah, just
It
so
was so
Was
good.
effortless.
was that against Liverpool?
I don't recall
I
that.
don't think so, but then
It
if
might have
it
been
was,
Stoke then. Might have been Stoke then.
I mean, maybe I've erased it 'cause it was so good. If it was against Liverpool,
Yeah,
but
I think that's
but
what he
that
became
sort
sort
of
of known
thing.
for, those passes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it was it was amazing to watch, and like his shooting ability was very good as well. I think the reason why people don't give him the credit he deserves as well is because goals have never been close to what he gets for assists.
Yeah, I don't
70
know.
goals, is it?
Yeah, 70 goals. Yeah,
goals.
which is not which is not obviously a high-ish. It's not Frank Lampard type numbers, is it?
No, but
For a
it's a high number
midfielder.
for a midfielder.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think. Yeah, and I think I saw something as well that he has the highest in terms of minutes per assist. He's top of the list in that sense
Yeah,
as
he's got
well.
108 minutes per goal or assist,
Mm.
which is an insane
Which is
stat.
insane. Yeah, I think another thing that would possibly blotch his record a small bit is that he was slightly injury prone. He did miss large swathes of some of Manchester City's bigger seasons. I remember him vividly as well, coming off in the was it the first half of the Champions League final? He had to come off. And he wasn't obviously on the pitch when they won it against Inter, obviously, in the final. I think he was injured in that final.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
first half,
He had to
Yeah,
come off.
no, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
So and he
I
has
believe
missed.
He had something like that against Chelsea as well. I think. Can't remember for sure though.
Yeah, so I think that for me anyway, I think that's one thing that would just slightly make me second guess or kind of consider a bit more his place in that all-time Premier League is just how injury prone he kind of was. I don't remember David Silva being injured very often at all. Other players of that ilk, they're just always available, always ready, especially in the big games when you want your big players to show up. But I mean, obviously, 6 Premier League titles, Champions League, the treble winning season, all kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? But yeah, obviously an amazing player nonetheless. Has it been announced where he might possibly could be ending up next season? I assume he's not retiring altogether.
He's got to be leaving Europe. Surely he's got to be leaving Europe. Is what
one last paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
He was speculated to go last season, wasn't it? Because obviously that was the whole thing, wasn't it? He was supposed to he was going to go, and then all of a sudden I guess Pep must have convinced him to stay an extra year, and yeah, I guess maybe he's thinking maybe I should have gone last summer because it hasn't really gone according to plan this year for City and himself. But yeah, it's probably sadly.
Yeah, you say that, but there's still. I think I mentioned in a previous episode, there's still something there for City this season. Well, the main thing being the FA Cup, obviously, and top 4 still within a shout as well. So there's still time to kind of salvage something from this season. It may not be all bad. He could end his City career with another trophy. His 14th trophy.
Three FA Cups he'll have if they go on and win that. So there's not a bad tally there
not
either.
Bad going at all. Exactly. Yeah. But so, yeah, you reckon he could go outside Europe? What if he still has that kind of competitive desire, if you like, if a club in Germany or Spain or something maybe wanted to pull him in?
Do you reckon he'll go back to Wolfsburg?
That would be one of those. Yeah, that could. Well, I don't know if Wolfsburg would want him or what his wage demands would be.
I think I saw a tweet that actually said we'll take you back or something on there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they even. If he was there, it would be like 2 years. 2 years. He wouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what is he? 30 plus 30. I don't know what age he is exactly. Is he 32?
33, I think he is.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But possibly back to Chelsea, maybe. Could use him.
I know, there are people that are saying, "Oh, yeah, I'll take him at Chelsea." No, I'm not grabbing the player who he is very good, but no, let's. I don't want a player like that. Now he's past it. Now let's let him go.
Yeah.
Let him have his paycheck and go. But
yeah, exactly.
Stu was saying there. You said he would be in your top 5. So if he's in your top 5, who are the other 4? I've got a feeling who 2 of them are, but I don't know who's the other 2 because I'm guessing Gerrard's in there.
Gerrard, yeah, I was guessing
no. Sorry, I know.
Yeah, of course it is. Go on,
Jordan Henderson.
Oh, don't know. I mean, he's definitely top 3. I mean, obviously for the list I've got, because obviously I put a bit of research on it, and on Premier League? I've had that debate: is he the best all time? And obviously the names that are coming up, but obviously the same ones: Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
I did see who was the other one that was in there? Oh, I can't remember that.
Silva, was it? Or
I think Silva might have been in there. I think
Torre. They've had some great midfielders.
Fabregas.
Fabregas, yeah,
saw that one. I saw Kante for some reason. I mean, he was only there a couple of years, but they put him in that list. That I do rate that guy.
But the thing was, his prime, Kante's prime, was so good. I think it was so good, and he'd done everything in that time as well. Like he'd won the Champions League, won the World Cup, won 2 Premier Leagues. He'd done everything. So
over a rather small sort of well, in comparison to how long De Bruyne's been at City, he did that over the space of what 2 or 3 years, didn't he? Kante, his you know, his kind of his peak was very, very kind of brief in that sense. Well, I say that, I mean, he did win the World Cup, 2 Premier Leagues, and you know, so I mean, not that bad a return, was it? But it was within that kind of 2 or 3 year period after Leicester won the league, goes to Chelsea, then he wins the World Cup with France. But yeah,
he done it at Chelsea. I'm not complaining.
That's it. There you go, Conte. Conte and Kante, yeah. But yeah, anything else you guys want to add about De Bruyne, or
I think that when you say about a lot of people I've heard that say, "Oh, De Bruyne's overrated. He was a bit of a," I mean, look at the club he was at. Look at the players he had around him, all this sort of stuff. I think that perspective is so uneducated. The point of view, then Roy Keane's overrated. Then Paul Scholes is overrated. Ryan Giggs is overrated because they had world-class players around him. Like, the best players play for the best teams eventually. Like, for example, Isak is a fantastic striker, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2-3 years he's playing at one of the top 4
without
clubs.
a doubt. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, it happens. Like, Mbappe is now at Real Madrid. Would you say he's overrated? No, because he's surrounded by world-class players. Like, he deserved to be at Man City. And not only was he a fantastic player, he wasn't thrown in the deep end and then struggled at City. Is he their best player of all time?
Well, so I think I think the question of when the word overrated comes into my head with De Bruyne, I think it's when people start to talk about, start to say, you know, without kind of even hesitation, he is City's best ever player. He's the Premier League's best ever midfielder, without a doubt. I think, well, you know, think about it for a second. I think when people say that, I think overrated in that sense, where they just blow past everyone else and go, no, De Bruyne, without question. They don't even think twice about it. But you know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say for sure. Again, it might just depend on personal preference and all the rest of it. City fans will obviously have their own opinion.
I think
their
time.
own unique opinion of it.
I think time as well. I think it'd be like. I think it's because it's. I think it is because it's City, because of what some people's was it represent of what City is and what they kind of how they got there. It's like there's always that caveat when it comes to like these great players, right? It's just like give it like I said, give it a couple of years.
And as well as that, what we haven't mentioned yet is the 115 charges, where if they are found guilty and you know they get an enormous points deduction, and you know they won't get stripped of trophies and stuff. But I mean, you know, people will look back in that time where they pretty much they won everything, and fans will always have that caveat of going like, well, you were breaking financial rules back then, mate. So you know
exactly that
ease up.
His legacy does hinge on that in a way, doesn't it?
Not entirely, because I mean, you know, football and financial thing, they're two separate things. Obviously, what happens on the pitch and what happens behind the scenes are two separate things. So you can't really take away his footballing ability. But in terms of, I think, obviously, with what trophies won, and football fans are obviously fickle, and they'll always kind of have that against Man City fans when they start to talk up De Bruyne. Well, they go, yeah, well, I mean, when they
look at that smug look on Stu's face as you're talking about these charges. I've never seen him so happy in his life.
Well, it's because I do know a couple of City fans, and they are like quite smug. So it's like it's a situation of like, and they're kind of but I think it does depend on that. But I think it will hurt a little bit. But obviously, you can't deny, like you can't be getting those kind of numbers and doing that kind of stuff if you're not one of the best. So
exactly,
it'll hurt a little bit, but no.
Yeah, obviously one of the all-time Premier League greats. Again, the debate will rage on as to whether or not people would want him in their all-time 11. But you know, that's the good thing about football.
He'll be in the debate for sure.
And exactly, yeah. So I think we'll move on from De Bruyne and we'll go briefly over the Premier League results over the weekend. And one place I do want to start is, well, two results that kind of tie in together, which is Liverpool's loss at Fulham which came after the first match of the weekend, which was Everton playing Arsenal. And Stuart, do you think Arsenal fans will be and the players will be kicking themselves? They didn't get the 3 points at Fulham at Everton, excuse me, because again Fulham, they beat Liverpool on the Sunday, more points dropped, but again Arsenal couldn't capitalize on obviously they couldn't predict that Fulham would beat them. But are Liverpool going to finish as strong as everyone thought they might have done a couple of weeks ago, do you think?
Oh, I don't know quite sure, because obviously ironically with this game against Fulham, it's been coming for a while. It's like the last couple of performances, take away obviously the Champions League and the Carabao Cup final. It's when it comes to the Premier League, it has been a couple of performances like, we've got away with that a little bit. But this has been coming. But to be fair, it's like you can't do much when basically your defence decides to make silly errors. I mean, the first Fulham equaliser should have been, had he missed that header, and then he missed it, came off Jones, which is calamity in the box, and then obviously they got that. It was just mistakes at the back, but that could be tiredness, because obviously this is not unusual for Liverpool. We kind of, this is what we do. We just go full pelt like for 2/3 of the season, and then near the end we kind of crumble. But luckily this season we've got like a good gap that even if you do mess up a little bit, it'll be okay. But then to be fair for Arsenal, it's like it is like with that game, like they should have got a win there, to be honest, because obviously except for that controversial penalty decision, how they got that, I do not know. How did Everton get that one? They did quite a lot of chances, and they probably should have put some of them away. They should have won that, but it wouldn't surprise me if they've kind of having a look on the shoulder, but they're probably going, yeah, it's over. Probably.
Yeah, and I mean it's still very much over. Well, I mean it's still all but done, isn't it? But I think if Arsenal win that, they get the extra 2 points. They would only be 9 points behind. And I mean Arsenal, if they can gain a few more points on Liverpool, they have that game at Anfield, the 36th game of the 38 at Anfield. If they can get to within striking, maybe 6 or 7 points of Liverpool, win the game, get within 2 or 3 or maybe 4 points of them with 2 games remaining,
I love your optimism.
I'm just saying it's not.
You are definitely a
Not,
glass
I
half
don't
full
think
guy.
it's not entirely. I mean, Liverpool are going to be. They're going to win it more than likely, aren't they?
Yeah.
But with how they're playing at the moment and Salah's form just completely taking a dip, it looks like they're going to probably just crawl over the line at this stage with their current form. It'll likely pick up, but
I'm not bothered if we're calling with no
well,
legs. It's just like I wonder
I've seen some fans online say, "Oh no, it's important that Liverpool finish strong, win by 12, 13, 14 points." I don't think would you care as much about that, Liz Stewart? As long as you win it, don't you?
Yeah, I got to be honest. I get it. Performances, you don't want a kind of situation of. I think with us Liverpool fans, we've got trauma, because basically we've had this so many times where basically we've started great, we've just blitzed it, and then we've screwed up near the end. And so like when we drop points, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. We're like, oh god, there we go. But it's not the end of the world. It's not crazy. We've got obviously, I guess in the 2 games in the week probably didn't help with the situation. Obviously playing midweek and playing that. So I don't think we have any more midweek games until the end of the season. I think it's all just one.
Too certain. I think you might be right, but yeah.
But if that's the case, like we should, like 1 game a week in theory, we should be okay. I mean, I think we've got
no cup competitions, none of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it depends on Arsenal's. Obviously, we'll talk about Champions League later. What happens there? But
yeah,
I mean, I was surprised did they start Saka against Everton?
No, I think he was on the bench again, along with Odegaard, obviously with the Champions League in mind. But the team that finished the game is probably the team they're going to start with during the week against Real Madrid, because they started with they ended with a lot of their stronger players. But again, we'll obviously go back. We'll go into that later on. But yeah, Matt, what's your opinion on Liverpool and their current form, and what do you think? What do you think the end of the season could look like?
It's not.
Is there any chance at all? Any chance at all?
There's nothing to look into, honestly. I think that if Liverpool were to crumble now, it would be the biggest turnaround in Premier League history. Easy. They've run away with it. They've done
bigger than Arsenal a couple of years ago. They were 12 or 13 points clear as well from City.
Yeah, but who was chasing them? That's the question.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
I think that the other thing as well is that you've got to look at the circumstances as well. So, for example, Liverpool have got salaries and injured, and he's world class, he's still going to put a few in the back of the net before the end of the season.
Yeah.
They've got Van Dijk in defence. They've got Alisson in goal. They've still got their strong players there.
Got the players there, yeah.
Whereas with Arsenal, they do have their strong players, but they've not been there often enough this season, and it's too late. I think it's too late. It is too late, and
With
Liverpool are going to
Gabriel
win
out
it.
for the season as well is it's a big
It-
blow. Yeah.
I'm still going to go with when rather than if, because
Yeah.
Liverpool have been brilliant this year. They have been brilliant. So yeah, I don't think it's anything to look into. You're going to lose every now and then. Like, it's the Premier League. The team at the bottom, not this season, but the team at the bottom can beat the team at the top. Not this season.
Shows the strength
but,
as well of the mid-table teams this season as well.
Yes.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, Stu.
I mean, Fulham's a good side. I mean, we played them at Anfield. It was like, we're lucky to get. Obviously, we're down 10 men for most of that, but like we're lucky to get a draw from that one. Like, this is a very good Fulham side. So,
I mean, look, if you look at it, they're 8th in the Premier League.
I was going to say as well, Matt. Do you remember a couple of episodes ago where you were saying, "I wonder what the odds are of Liverpool winning the league and Southampton getting relegated in the same way?" Luckily, you didn't put any money down, because one thing we should probably talk about is Southampton obviously being officially, mathematically ruled out of playing in the Premier League next season. They will be going back down to the Championship, which I think everyone knew from basically before Christmas, really. But they are still on course. They're still on course to beat that infamous Derby record. They sit on 10 points currently. Does anyone actually have in front of them what Derby's goal difference was in that season?
Because
I know it. I actually know it. I think I don't. I don't have it written down. Do you have it in front of you?
No, but I have Southampton's one here, and I want to know what Derby's was at the end of the season.
I'm sure of it.
Minus 60 something. They scored so few goals.
I remember stupid stat from that. I believe, like, what was it? Kevin Miller. Was it Kevin Miller? Their striker from Rangers.
Kenny Miller.
Kenny Miller. That's it. Yeah. He scored like 9 goals, I think, that year. He was their top goal scorer. They finished off on 11 points. The goal difference was minus 69.
69, right? Okay.
I think he's. Oh, I think he's.
Well, Southampton is minus 51 now, so they would do well. I mean, unless they could concede 20 goals or whatever in the next 7 games, which is not beyond the realms of possibility with how bad they've been. But even if they get that 11 points, that extra point they need, Derby might still pip them with a worse goal difference. So
am I right?
Oh, sorry. I sorry.
Minus goal difference? Yeah.
There you go.
I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. On the money, mate. Very good.
If for the stats.
Yeah. But obviously they're still on course.
I did want to actually mention about Southampton, because obviously Ivan is it Uric has obviously left today.
Yeah, he's been sacked. Yeah.
But there was a quote he said in the interview, which actually kind of like, well, it's something we've obviously talked about, was he said the difference between the physicality of the Championship and the Premier League, the gap is huge. And it is true. It is like I hate to say it, because I do like some of the players in Leeds, but their goalkeeper, he was in the Premier League last season. He is not, I don't rate him at all, but in the Championship, he looks brilliant. But he'll come here and then he'll get like 4 or 5 smashed past him every week.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
what do we think about sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, it's the other thing I did see about Southampton as well, and it was during this manager's tenure, but before he's left today, was the only team to get less points than Southampton in his 14-game stint was Leicester City.
With Pearson, was it?
No. This season.
Right. Sorry.
So in that 14-game stint, he was in charge. Only Leicester City got less points than them. They got 4 and Leicester got 3.
Wow.
Leicester have been shocking.
Yeah, and what I think it's the earliest a team has been relegated in Premier League history as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
7 games? Yeah, obviously it's like
7 weeks to go. Yeah, 7 game weeks rather.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they've been shocking. But,
Yeah. I don't see him bouncing back. I definitely don't see him bouncing back.
Southampton.
No, I don't see it. I do think that Southampton need maybe a couple of seasons to rebuild. Definitely, I think.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, so that's Southampton relegated. I mean, in terms of the other two teams in the bottom three, it looks like they're pretty much dead set to go down as well. Ipswich and Leicester City. I don't see any way they can make up the points difference now. I think it's 12 points between Ipswich and Wolves in 17th.
Yeah,
that's done and dusted, isn't it?
yeah, it was a must win that game because I think it was like they got to win it in the week, midweek, and obviously like if they beat Wolves, I think it would be down to 6 points. Then it would have been, but then I mean you start. But yeah, it's a fit. The bottom three now is sadly is what it's going to be. We've known it for a while, but now it's definitely confirmed. To be fair,
I think so.
But do you think that this is the worst bottom three that the Premier League's ever seen?
Quite possibly. I mean, I'd be interested to see the stats in terms of goals scored, goals conceded, and points accrued. But I wouldn't be surprised if this current bottom three now is right up there with one of the worst bottom three relegated teams. They've been shocking, really. Not much more to say about that, really. Yeah, really bad.
The other thing as well is that I saw earlier that Leicester still are in with a shout of being the worst team in Premier League history in terms of like defensively, not points, just and I know that's obviously not as bad as the points wise, but my word, like that's two teams who could be breaking really records you don't want to be breaking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
really bad. But hey, like I said, I think those three were pretty much confirmed to go down for the last month or so. I think everyone would have said with a certain degree of confidence that they'll be the three to head on back down the championship. I think one more kind of match during the weekend I wanted to kind of just go over briefly. Although there may not be many talking points in regards to the match itself. I don't know if you guys caught the riveting Manchester derby on Sunday afternoon. One of the worst games of football I've ever seen. Certainly one of the, definitely the worst derby game I've ever seen between these teams. But even in terms of a general Premier League match, it was very dull.
Yeah, I got home and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to put the game on. Sort of wish I caught up with a series instead.
Yeah, I think everyone thought that.
Terrible.
I know. Because it was one of those, wasn't it? Where it's like, well, I mean, neither team really have much to fight for. City top four, United don't really have anything. They're more concentrated about, Leon on Thursday. But you think, well, it being a derby, there could be there could be still a bit about it, some goals and all that kind of stuff. But there was absolutely nothing. The only positive I could really see in the game, well, obviously the clean sheet is good enough, even against a City team who are not as potent for a goal this season, but a clean sheet is always welcome. And Bruno Fernandes had another pretty good performance as well. He's continuing that kind of steady, sort of consistent performance levels for the last 3 or 4 games now, which is another positive. Again, trying to squeeze any positives at all from this game is a bit difficult, but I mean, those are two things certainly you can take away. But I mean, what a drab game. So insipid, just absolutely nothing. Did you catch it, Stuart?
Well, I only watched the brief highlights from Match of the Day from last night. But I mean, I'm quite surprised how, like, obviously everyone's seen the Gary Neville kind of absolute rant about how it's how annoyed he was of how really bad the game was. But I mean, to be fair, the interesting thing about that game is obviously not the game. It's just the idea after the game, where what was it? They were hugging each other. I think I saw that. Like they were kind of like. Not like any. It wasn't like a fierce rivalry afterwards. They were just kind of hugging in, and it annoyed everyone. But I'm confused why, because obviously it's not like the old days, like when basically everyone hated each other.
I get that, and especially from someone like people like Gary Neville who played in the 90s with the United team, where there was the rivalry between these teams was a lot more fierce, and there wouldn't have been a lot of chatting and hugging and how are you mate kind of stuff camaraderie at the end. But I mean, that's been like that for a long time now. You know, I remember even when Pogba was playing for United a couple of years ago, then him swapping shirts at halftime and things like that, and people really getting on his case. But I think it's because a lot of these players possibly aren't local players. So maybe back in the day during the 90s, there would have been that fierce rivalry would have been there a lot more. But I think because a lot of these players are obviously foreign players, they obviously are told, and it's bet into them, how much it means to the fans and the area and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, for them, I would put, especially this game where there's not really much to fight for in the league, it's just another game of football, isn't it? You know, you're aware that they're your local rivals, but at the end of the day, you see your mate from Portugal or whatever. You're all right, mate. How's things? You know, you're going to go over and say hi and have a chat after the game, aren't you? You know, you're not going to wait until you get to the tunnel. But yeah, and there was no needle in the game or anything. There was no, the red card. There was none of that kind of thing. It was just what a nothing match that was. But anyway,
I think as well what it was. No one's got anything to fight for. No
that's
one.
it. Yeah,
like, Man City, yes, Man City have got a place in the Champions League to fight for, but I think that they must be so disappointed with their season. Like they just want it in a way to sort of end. Whereas Man United, well, I mean, they're in the bottom half. Like it's not going to get much better than this in the Premier League. So it could be that as well. Like
exactly.
The fierceness wasn't there because the competitiveness wasn't as high as it normally is. I mean, it was only, what was it, 2019 season or 2018 season? Man United was second in the Premier League, and and they beat them, didn't they? Yeah, didn't Man United beat them at the Etihad to take
was it? Was that the Rashford goal? I think it was, wasn't it?
Rashford, or it was Paul Pogba. I remember.
Something like that, yeah, vaguely.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, obviously, yeah, back then when there would have been a lot more to kind of fight for, more at stake, in other words.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely nothing to write home about in this one. But hey, but even for City as well, I mean, you say, yeah, they're in the top 4 race, obviously, but that's for them probably a point gained. United did beat them earlier in the season at their own gaff. And obviously they haven't gotten much better between now and then. So Pep would probably look at that and go, hey, point's a point. We'll take it. And a clean sheet.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so but not much else really to say about that game, really. But I think we'll move on to the midweek Champions League fixtures, unless you guys have anything else you want to discuss about the weekend or any of the results. Anything you want to bring up?
Well, there was one stat that I did see that came out yesterday, which shocked me. Nothing to do with the Premier League, nothing to do with European football, but Lionel Messi has now become Inter Miami's all-time leading goal scorer. Wasn't ever going to take long. So, yeah.
How many?
Well, it was a big stat.
Aren't they like 3 years old or something?
yeah, like 3 years old.
It's not difficult, mate.
But I saw it and I thought, oh yeah, I'll bring that up.
yeah.
Well, the question is, how many goals? How many? What was the record, and how did he beat it?
Oh, you've thrown me in there. Hang on. I have to live up to the expectation.
Stat man.
Exactly. But this one I didn't know off the top of my head. Right, here we go. 40 goals.
40 goals.
Yeah.
Right, fair play.
That's what I'm seeing for him.
47 goals. 47 appearances.
That's half a season for him, I think.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to bring up, actually, I mean, we're going off a bit off kilter here, or we're digressing a small bit, but just with the MLS, it's just how much of a joke league it is, and they've done it more than once, where where Inter Miami have traveled to another team. They did it this season, I know, but Messi was injured and he wasn't playing, and they refunded the fans their money just because Messi wasn't playing, and they did that once before, I think last season as well. Yeah. Because the fans are just there to see Messi, aren't they? They don't give a toss about anyone else, Suarez or whatever. They don't care about the football. They just want to see Lionel Messi and have their phone out for 90 minutes and then just film the whole thing.
Isn't that why they're in the Club World Cup? That's literally the only reason they're in that Club World
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Messi. Because no one cares about it, so it's like they need box office. So like, Messi will be in it. But yeah,
exactly.
So hope he doesn't get injured.
What a joke!
Oh, could you imagine if he got injured? Yeah.
No, I'd love that. I'd love that. Yeah, it's like.
Oh god.
But anyway, I just want to have a mini rant about that. But anyway, right. So we will move on to the Champions League fixtures this week. There's some exciting games this week to look forward to. So on the Tuesday, we have Arsenal are playing Real Madrid in the quarterfinal first leg, along with Bayern Munich, who are playing Inter Milan. But I think the three of us, I would guess, are going to be tuning into the Arsenal match.
That's gonna be two really good ties there, I think.
Yeah,
Two
really good.
really
I'm
good.
especially looking forward to this Arsenal one. It's at home. It's at the Arsenal ground, obviously. But what are the thoughts on Arsenal's chances against the reigning European Cup holders?
Oh.
Any chance at all? How do we give them any chance whatsoever?
I would love to see Arsenal beat them because I'm sick and tired of Real Madrid winning the Champions League.
Yeah, I agree.
I love how well run the club is, and they've always been relatively successful. And it's very good to see. But step aside, let someone else have a chance this year. Let someone else have a go this year. So yeah, and their dominance has been a bit too much. But
do you give them any chance?
I do. I think they've got one of the best defenses in Europe. Arsenal do. I think that they've got a very good keeper between the sticks. The creativity is there, and if Saka is fit enough, he can cause them problems. The first game is at. I think if I was an Arsenal fan, and like going back to days when Chelsea were in the Champions League as well, I always preferred playing at home in the second leg.
Yeah, of course.
Always preferred it, especially with the away goal rule now gone.
Yeah.
I always prefer second leg at home, and that's why I'd say with this tie for Arsenal, I bet they wished it was at the Emirates the second leg, because I think they may have had a better chance then. But
that would be very tough, depending on the first leg draw, obviously.
Yeah,
first leg result.
Yeah.
What do you think, Stu?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously don't want to make the same mistake obviously City did when they had that. I think the first leg in that game was at the home ground. And and then was it they
capitulated in the second leg?
I remember watching. It. I think it was like, what was it, 2-1, and they were like they were cruising, and Ireland was going mental because he's 2-1, and then all of a sudden, typical Real Madrid fashion, they just basically turn up in the last couple of minutes and was that
Rodrigo getting his brace within like 3 minutes or something?
It's just nuts. I mean, I obviously, as a fervent Man City hater, I was laughing my head off when it happened, to be honest, because it's like another bad thing for City. But then obviously they had to go to Bernabeu and they had no shot. So obviously, with Arsenal, they have to. I mean, we all forget Real Madrid lost. I think they lost 2-1 in the league. I think to Valencia. I think I saw. So they're coming off a defeat. So they're going into this game with not off a win. So.
I'd like to know. I don't have it in front of. I'd like to know who they started in that game though. With Arsenal coming up next, I don't know if they probably didn't start their strongest starting 11. But well, like you said, a loss is a loss though. So
I mean,
everything you can, every drop of sort of anything you can get as an Arsenal fan for like, well, they lost at the weekend. That's another thing in our favor, kind of thing.
You got that yellow card thing as well. Do you hear about that thing about basically? I think like. I can't remember all the names, but Real Madrid got 5 people with yellow cards, and they were gonna like not play them in this game because obviously, if they obviously get another yellow card, they'll be like banned for the next game or something. I think because obviously I remember seeing that because everyone was like, oh, like they like weren't gonna play basically because they were like, well, we don't want to get in for the next leg. But I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if I saw Arsenal win this like 2-1 possibly, or maybe 1-0. Like,
I was thinking that as well. Wouldn't surprise me if they sneak a win.
1-0. 1-0, Martin Odegaard to get the goal
Not
as well. That'd be a story, wouldn't it?
Put your money down, mate. What do you guys think is a bigger? What do you think is because they've had good news and bad news, significantly good news and significantly bad news recently with their squad. The bad news obviously being with Gabriel being out for the season, but the good news is that Saka has come back from injury just at the right time, and he even got a goal the other week as well. What do you think is more important to Arsenal, or what Arsenal fans would say is more important? Would they say having Saka fit, or who do you think Arsenal fans would prefer in their starting 11? Would they prefer to be missing Saka or missing Gabriel, do you think?
Oh, they would prefer to miss Gabriel.
Yeah,
do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean Saka. I think Saka is the only player, maybe alongside what was it, David Raya, that if they're injured, you can't. There's no one to replace them. There's no one to come in and be a good replacement. You've probably put Odegaard in that argument as well. But if Saliba's injured, you still got Gabriel. I mean, don't get me wrong. If both are injured, that's a disaster.
Yeah.
But Saka brings so much attacking threat, I think, against any opposition, and he's going to cause a lot of problems for Real Madrid, definitely.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think you're right. Agree with that. So the other match that night, obviously, we mentioned it. Bayern Munich are playing Inter Milan at the Allianz Arena. Again, there was another. I think it came out last week with Thomas Muller is going to be leaving Bayern Munich at the end of the season.
Yeah, I love it, Chelsea.
Final, yeah, and the final will be played in Munich. So I mean, it could be a great send off for him if he can get to the final.
Last time that Bayern Munich played a final in Munich in their
own
own
grounds. It didn't go quite well for them, did it? Yeah,
Chelsea aren't in it. Chelsea aren't in it. So that's the only reason they lost. So if we're not in it,
so that should be a good one as well.
Yeah, I actually think that Bayern Munich I would love to see him win it.
Me too.
I think go as far to say that if an English team doesn't get to the final, I'd love to see Bayern Munich win it because Harry Kane can finally win a trophy.
Yeah,
he deserves the trophy. He deserves one.
Could get the double.
Agree.
Yeah, he could get the double.
Yeah, I think they've actually the points gap between themselves and Leverkusen is narrowed down a little bit. I think they're 6 points clear at the moment, which is obviously significant, but they were 8 points clear, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So I mean, the league isn't wrapped up just yet, but they should see it over the line. But yeah, a European double for Kane could be inbound, which I would love to see because I love Harry Kane as a player. I think he deserves it. I don't like all this flack that he gets. Oh, he's not won a trophy, blah blah blah. He's such a prolific goal scorer. I think he's the highest scoring player in the last 2 seasons in Europe. I might be wrong. I think I saw that somewhere. Over the last 2 seasons, he scored more goals than anyone else.
That does sound right, though. That does sound right because this season he has been very prolific again.
Yeah, and he's breaking records left and right at Bayern Munich as well. I mean, he's just an incredible player, incredible striker, and and he's not that he's on the sort of tailing end of his career now as well. So he's 32, 33. There's not a lot left in him. And I think I would love for him to get a trophy, if not a couple of trophies. A European double would be great for him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But that's Tuesday told. And then on Wednesday, we have Villa playing PSG, or rather PSG are playing Villa at PSG's home ground. Another great game. And I think Kyle will be watching that one. He probably will be, won't he? He might tune in and watch that. I think he might check it out.
He'll be making sure of it.
What are you guys' thoughts on that match? Did Villa have any chance against PSG? Obviously, we saw PSG dispatching Liverpool in the last round, who looked really, really good.
You can't forget that, David.
Oh, yeah. So PSG obviously looking really good this season, especially in Europe. How do we fancy Villa's chances?
Stu?
I don't know. I mean, I think they got a good shot, to be fair, because obviously we're not. I mean, to get where they obviously you could sit there and say they got a good in the last round. They obviously got the club bruise and they done really well there. But yeah, I think they got. I mean, I don't know. It's just out of all the games I'm looking forward to, I would probably say this one is because obviously you've got a Villa side that's but just hitting form at the right time. You've got a PSG side that, again, we just know just won the French league.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not unusual, but they've won the French league, so it's like, I don't know. It feels like a game. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know why. I don't think it's going to be close.
I get that feeling as well, actually. Yeah. I think there could be a lot of goals in there. I don't really know why, but it feels like one of those where the goals could fly in. Yeah, I agree with you.
Both two very good attacking sides. Obviously, we all know PSG. It wouldn't surprise me if PSG just nick it, but I don't know. It's the same vibe. It's got a lot of goals in it. I don't know. Because it's just if I was Villa, quarterfinals Champions League, go for it.
Go for it. Yeah, exactly.
I think that for me, this it's gonna be a very good game. Like you say, PSG have now won the league, so they don't need to worry about the league anymore. They can put full focus on the Champions League, which at this stage of the season for them is huge.
Mhm.
And I think that they could do really well this year. I want Villa to go through, but I think if Villa were to go through, it'll be because of everything they've done, of them getting the rest of the work done at Villa Park. I think that what they have to do in Paris is make sure that PSG do not run away with it.
Contain. Yeah, exactly.
Because Dembele, if Dembele is insanely good this year, so if you've got to keep your eye on him and do not let him.
Yeah,
run
I agree. I think
what's
the
the other guy?
yeah.
The other guy on the other flank. I love watching him.
Oh, what the guy they got from Napoli?
Yeah, Georgian.
Oh,
for PSG. Oh, I forget his name.
Oh, sure.
It's something beginning with K, and it has about 30 letters.
It's some mad name, isn't it? Yeah.
If you're playing Scrabble,
is
you
it
use that name.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Philly? I think it's something like that.
No, that's an old player.
Oh,
It's like the Venegorf of Hessling sort of name. It's like, but
yeah,
that guy as well. He was brilliant against Liverpool as
he's
well.
brilliant.
really good, really good. Yeah.
I certainly think that PSG at home in the first leg, Villa aren't careful, could already win the tie. They could easily win the ties in that first.
I mean, we were lucky to get that game alive when they played him. Like to get that 1-0 was just
that was an unbelievable match. That was, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Villa have got a shot because obviously they've got a really defense and world class keeper there. So
the best keeper in the world.
Absolutely.
So maybe maybe Villa could do the same job. Maybe they could just hold out and just get a 1-0 win.
Yeah, I think I agree with you both. Yeah, I think that the game plan is obviously clear over the 2 legs for Unai Emery, isn't it? It's just contain PSG at the Parc des Princes and then take them back to Villa Park where there'll be a rocking atmosphere. If they can get out of there with a draw or even a 1-goal deficit, even win the thing, you never know. If they can take them back to Villa Park, anything could happen.
Exactly.
So I think they've got a I think having that second leg at home is huge for them. And
Fingers
the other
crossed
match,
for Kyle.
He'll be back next week if you win.
Yeah.
I want to get live updates. Oh god, I want to get live updates from Kyle watching that match. I really do, especially with the second leg.
But ask him to put him on webcam.
Even better. Yeah, we'll do a watch along with just him. I'll just watch him watch it. And the other match that night is Barcelona taking on Borussia Dortmund at the Camp Nou. I haven't been watching a lot. I haven't seen a lot of Barcelona this season, or Borussia Dortmund for that matter. I do know that Lewandowski is still knocking them in, and it looks like Barcelona are probably going to be that as well. Yeah. And I think Barcelona are probably favourites for this tie as well. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, I think one player you've also got to mention who I don't understand how he played for Arsenal once is Wojciech Szczesny. Come out of retirement and he's into the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
What a resurgence. What a career resurgence.
Like,
fantastic.
This could actually happen that Barcelona get to the Champions League final, so do Arsenal. And
my god.
Could you imagine all the way to penalties and Wojciech Szczesny won the tournament on penalties again? That would be the biggest slap in the face.
He saves the penalty that wins Barcelona the shootout. That would be unbelievable. I think in terms of storylines, what do you guys think the best 2 teams in the final would be, just in terms of the storyline? You know what I mean? Arsenal Barcelona is not a bad one with Szczesny there, the Szczesny derby.
We had obviously it was Real Madrid Dortmund last year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and like Bellingham just leaving Dortmund.
Yeah.
I mean that was
Villa Arsenal.
Okay. I mean it's. Oh God! Do you know what? I hope it's not an all-English final. I really don't.
Wait,
I want
that would be an Unai Emery derby as well against Arsenal.
it can't be. It's matches of love.
It can't. Yeah, because
all the English sides are on the wrong side.
Are they? Right. Okay,
yeah, they are. Yes, of course they are. Yeah.
Well, they can face each other in the semi-final. That'd be good.
I mean, the one that we probably all want to say, it's probably. Some people say is it going to be a final where it's going to be all like an old Spanish final or something? So like the way the sides are drawn, it feels like for me it could be like a Real Madrid Barcelona final.
The Super Classico.
I don't think Barcelona are going to make it all the way though. I don't think. I think that Barcelona, I think, have got enough to beat Dortmund. But I think if Bayern Munich go through against Inter, I think Bayern are going to
Bayern would
be.
edge it. Yeah.
But did Barcelona beat them in the league phase quite comfortably? Am I thinking of another time?
I can't remember any games from that league phase at all. It's just been wiped
There
from my mind.
was a thrashing in there somewhere. I can't. I'm sure
I think
it's
you're
like
right. Yeah, vaguely
Barcelona
remember something.
absolutely trounced like Bayern Munich. I'm sure like.
Yeah, but that's league knockout. This is knockout.
Yeah, this is serious business now. That league, yeah.
Yeah, no one cares about that bit.
Just
See,
bring it up.
when the
Just bring
serious
it up.
business. Yeah,
He's picking it up because they finished top of it.
Good times. Such good times they were.
Yeah, so it's so long ago. Hey, the league's in the bag. Don't worry, mate.
But your question about who you'd love to see in the final, for me, it would probably be Bayern Munich versus PSG.
That'd be a good one.
I'd like to see that.
Would that be a repeat of the COVID final?
It would be. Or it would be probably if you're going from like heart, like as an English fan, I'd love to see Aston Villa face Real Madrid.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's what I'd love to see.
I mean, it wouldn't be great if like it was 6-0 at half time. Do you know that kind of way? It wouldn't be as good, maybe.
Well,
I'm not even gonna watch.
You know what to do if Real Madrid are winning at half time 3-0. You know who to get in that dressing room. Rafa Benitez. Rafa Benitez in that dressing room.
Yeah.
The repeat. The comeback of Istanbul. He's done it before. Get him in that dressing room. Sodu Emre for 5 minutes.
Was it bring Steven Gerrard back out of retirement?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just to knock in the first header and then just get subbed again. Just like, all right, I've got you started, lads.
In the team as well.
If Xabi Alonso missed penalty and just knocks in the rebound, I think I would love to see Villa go as far as they could. I mean, to get to the final would be incredible. I'd love to see Arsenal get to the final and possibly win it. I'd like not for Real Madrid to win it. I'd like for Arsenal to beat Real Madrid and sneak past them into the next round. Who do we think now, just off the top of our heads, who is going to win it in Munich?
I'm going with Bayern. I'm going with Bayern. I think they've got a real good chance.
Just because I want to be different, and obviously because they knocked us out, I'm going to go dark horse up at PSG.
PSG?
That's not a bad shout.
Interesting shout. They have looked really good.
And also, I really don't want Real Madrid to win it.
Yeah, that's the other side as well. I would say I think Bayern Munich. I think they're both good shouts, to be honest. But I would maybe go. You can never rule out Real Madrid, can you? I think
don't be that though. No.
Okay, no, I'll stay away.
Okay,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Bayern Munich. I'll go with Bayern Munich to win it all in Munich this summer. I think that'd be great. But I think that's the end of the episode, guys. So unless you guys have anything else you want to add, Champions League related or anything else?
All good.
All right. I think we'll end it there. This is my first episode actually hosting. The quiz aside, this is my first kind of normal episode hosting.
Yeah.
So I hope I didn't butcher it too much. But we'll probably switch it up week to week. When Matt doesn't feel like it, when he wants to take a bit of a back seat, that's fine. And it's all good. I don't mind doing it. I enjoyed doing it actually.
There you go.
So I think we'll see you guys all in the next episode. Actually, I wanted to say as well, we're hoping to get more people on. Obviously Kyle, Matt, to do another quiz. I'm desperate to put another quiz together, and the more people who can do that, the better, obviously. So we're trying to get everyone together in one episode so I can put a little quiz together. But when that'll be, we don't know. But hopefully as soon as, because that was a good bit of fun the last time. But just wanted to add that in. But that's goodbye from Stu and Matt and myself, and we'll see everyone next time.
See you later, everyone. See ya.
Bye bye.